it's not clear whether we should focus too much on these parameters, because from my point of view, it's not really clear whether it has any meaning, except that it tells you that for instance, as we will see, social networks are not random graphs. Okay, so let's go back here. So what's going on here is that basically the clustering coefficient is about 65%. So that means that if you look at the person published together, okay, more or less they really publish together in a very dense way. That means that you can really partition the guys into groups in which all of them more or less publish together. Okay, up to at least 2/3 of them. Okay, so if you look at movie actors, okay, it's again the same thing. So you put an edge between two actors if they played in the same movie. Okay, and you again get 60 clustering coefficient of 66%. So the amazing fact here is that the number of edges is very small. I mean, more or less in social networks we have something like 2 or 3 links per node on average. Okay, so you would not expect that number of clustering. It really tells you that you have something really specific in the graph. So, for instance, if you would look at the random graph with the same number of nodes and same number of edges, the clustering coefficient you would get would be 0.001, okay, which is really, really, really nothing. Okay, more or less it's a 3 at that point, so it has nothing to do. So basically, what the clustering coefficient tells you is that, you know, it's not a random graph. Okay, so you should stop looking at random graph, but anyway, it clearly makes sense. So another important feature is the diameter. So this is another surprising feature in the sense that you have very few edges, okay, and you're clustered. So you would think that everything would be local, and it turns out that also the diameter is very small. So what's the diameter of a graph? So you look at the graph. For every 2 points, you compute the shortest path between them. Okay, you call it the distance between U and V. So this is the shortest path. Okay, and the diameter is the longest shortest path. Okay, as usual. So one fact is that it's pretty hard to compute exactly on very large graphs, but we have some good approximation algorithm. So So what's happening in social networks? So if you look at, for instance, YouTube, the diameter is 21. So I guess that the links are between videos. Okay. Even if you have 1 million users and for about 5 million links. Okay. So it's really small. 21 in comparison to 1 million, it's really nothing. Okay. If you look at Flickr, it's 27 with 2 million users and 22 million links. So you see again that the number of links is fairly small in comparison to the number of users. Okay, and in spite of that, the diameter is really small. And if you look at LiveJournal, I don't know what it is. It's 20. The diameter is 20, and you have here 5 million users and 70 million links. Okay, so usually what we used to think when we see these numbers is basically the diameter looks logarithm, like a logarithm in the number of users, more or less. Okay, that's it's hard to think of another function that would give such a small number in the number of users. So that's the diameter and clustering coefficient. And more surprisingly, there was the experiment of Milgram. And that's really what gave birth to the small world phenomenon. It was popularized as the 6th degree of separation. And what was the idea of Milgram? It was just years before, decades before the internet. Okay, so it was based on letters. Okay, so the idea was to find some peasants in the most faraway states of the United States. Okay, and ask them to send a letter to to a physician in Boston. And the rule of the games were the following. The only thing you knew about the doctor is his name and the hospital, okay, where he's working. And the rule is that you're allowed to send the letter only to a person you know personally, on the first name basis. Okay? And so it's hard to think that that you would expect that a short path, that letters would even arrive to the destination, okay? Because people have to play the rule of the game all along the path, okay, which is not clear. And it's not even clear that people would find the path, okay? And the surprising fact about the experiment is that more than a quarter of the letter arrived, okay, and for most of them, they arrived in less than 5 hops. So it took like less than 5 contacts to reach a target, okay, from people who are a priori very far away geographically and also professionally, and who might not have any contact. Okay, so the surprising fact here is that now we already know that the diameter is small. Okay, but there is something more here in this experiment. Is that not only the diameter is small, but people with their local view of the network are able to find short paths. If they are able to find, you know, a contact here that will really get the letter closer to the destination, okay, and finally get to the destination. Okay. And this is quite surprising because you do not choose your friends in order to optimize your distance to a physician in Boston. Okay, that's really something that happens and that we would like to understand. And it's much more than simply the diameter. Okay, do you feel the difference? Because it's not because you're in something. For instance, imagine that that your desk is a mess. Okay, you're very close to any object, but it will somehow take some time to find your find the object you're looking for. Okay, it's not because everything is close to you, but it will be easy to find it. Okay, and here especially you only have a very tiny view of the network. Usually people count that they have something like 1,000 of friends, more or less, 1,000 of people they know, more or less in their life. Okay, and you have something like hundreds of millions inhabitants in the United States. So it's quite surprising that you can reach people with only this tiny view of the network in 6 steps. Okay. So in order to try to explain that, there was a first model, which is somehow quite naive, of Watts and Strogatz. And what was their idea? The idea is that you have to, you know, social networks are at the same time highly clustered and with a small diameter. So the idea was just to construct a graph which has a small diameter and a good clustering coefficient, which was not trivial at the time. Okay, but even someone could design this kind of graphs. So what they did is that they started from a ring where everybody is connected to his neighbors at distance k. Okay, so here, if you look at the k consecutive people, it's a click. Everybody is connected. Okay, so you have a fairly high clustering coefficient. Okay, you have all the edges at distance k. Okay, so here you have a very high clustering coefficient, but the diameter also is really high because basically it's if you have n nodes here and you're connected to your contact up to distance k, the diameter is more or less n over k. Okay, so it's about n. Okay, so it's huge. It's really huge. It's 1 million instead of 27.